Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated, where today this is going to be such a fun one. I'm joined by comedian and YouTube sensation, Daralyn Kelleher. So, Daralyn, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
No, it's a real pleasure. I've been watching your YouTube channel. Hilarious.
Oh,
It's pretty informative, but pretty funny.
thank you so much. I'm so glad you like it.
Yeah, yeah. So you correct me if I'm wrong, but you started out doing some stand up. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Stand-up was a huge part of my life for a long time. I started in New York.
Yeah, yeah. Not an easy place to start.
That's right. Yeah, it was very challenging to begin.
Do you still do any stand up currently?
Not currently. A big part of that is because of the pandemic.
Right.
I just want to try to stay safe. Um, but I would like to get back into it once everything sort of gets back to normal.
Yeah, a lot of our comedian friends are doing it virtually. You know, you do the Zoom comedy shows.
Sure, it's kind of a whole different thing. So I haven't even gone in that direction. I've thought of
It's
it, but I just
yeah,
kind
it's
of
different.
yeah, it's absolutely different. So and for me, it was always like I enjoyed feeling the audience,
Yeah,
their energy. So I suppose I'm trying to better spend my efforts for myself anyway
yeah.
in my videos.
Yeah, no, and there, yeah, definitely. I want to talk about that. And there's some perils in the Zoom comedy. I watched. I got invited to one that I watched with. It had this woman, and I think she was funny, but she would, as every time she got ready to say the punchline, her internet cut out, and she didn't know it, so that it would cut out so you'd miss the punchline, but then it would come back and she'd be on to the next joke. And I mean, she did the
Oh,
whole set like that, which became pretty hilarious. But yeah, not as easy when you're doing
ooh,
it.
that's
uh,
tough.
yeah, that's pretty tough. So let's talk a little bit about your YouTube channel. You know, what gave you the idea, and tell us a little bit about what it involves and what it's about.
Okay, sure. So basically, I'm currently posting a series called All by Myself,
Yeah.
and it's me independently attempting to basically woodwork and create furniture from scratch. Um, I started it just because I had a surplus of time, and I was like, I'm gonna need to do something with all of this.
Well, yeah, and what a great idea. So are you handy, or are we watching you try to learn to be handy?
Definitely me trying to learn to be handy.
Yeah, that's
Um,
funnier.
yeah. Well, it's I'm trying to maybe hopefully go for the relatable angle, trying to go for
Yeah.
sort of just like a regular person trying to do some kind of intense things, and it's been fun to learn along the way.
See, I think this is such a great idea because see, I am the most unhandy. I cannot do any of that stuff. So I always
Hmm.
thought that would make it would probably drive me insane, but it would make a pretty funny show. So I applaud you for sticking it out. But don't you get frustrated as you're learning?
Absolutely. Yes. It's that's the other thing. It's been a challenge at times because it is frustrating, especially because I'm doing it independently, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's sometimes I do hit roadblocks, but I think that's kind of if I didn't have that, then I would have sort of that I guess expert angle, and then it wouldn't be something people could relate to. So
That's right.
I'm kind of yeah, I do get frustrated. I try to show it so people can get it, but uh,
How do
just
you
I'm
come up
making
with
my
your
way.
projects?
Sorry, what was that?
How do you come up with your projects? How do you decide what you're going to work on?
Well, my first project was to make an ottoman, and I had chosen that because it just seemed like the most basic thing to start with.
Yeah.
Um, I actually had stumbled upon this one channel that this guy is making like armchairs, he's making huge sofas, like he's so intense, he's got this crazy workshop, and I think he's over in Russia, and I'm just like, oh, I've got to be like him. And so he had sort of a for beginners tutorial to make an ottoman, and I started with that. And then from there, it's been about sort of personal need. What type of furniture do I need around my space?
Yeah, I love that. So when once you started posting those videos, when did you realize, hey, there's some people out there watching this? This I may be onto something.
I started to feel onto something actually right away. The series sort of had evolved from me trying to, prior to making furniture, I was just trying to be productive around my apartment and just clean, organize, and people were sort of engaging with me there, and it was sort of like starting to get to at least feel like something people were into, and importantly too, that I was into. And then I ran out of things to clean and organize, and then once I started, like, I guess, just attempting to put things together and getting small successes, then I was like, okay, I'm onto something. It feels right.
Yeah. Do your fans interact with you, or do you get a lot of advice on whether you're doing it right or wrong?
Yeah, I think especially some of my subscribers in the beginning were even maybe a little concerned, just because, like, my first couple are, I mean, if I were watching someone do what I was doing, I also would be concerned, because I had never used a power saw before.
Right.
I was doing it in my apartment, and it was a little like, what? So yeah, I think people were a little like, I hope she can figure this out and be okay and not hurt herself. But luckily I did. And now that I've started to have a couple projects actually come together well, I think people are kind of just more interested to see what's next.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's so interesting with that stuff. You're like, what's she going to get into this week? Did you have to go out and buy a bunch of tools, or did you have that stuff just sitting around?
Yeah, that I had to make sort of an up top investment in tools, some saws, a drill. I didn't even have that. Yeah, I mean, just the basics, I guess, and also learning how to upholster too. Like, I had to get a whole upholstery kit. So yeah, there's been some upfront costs.
So what made you think, all right, I'm going to do this. I think I'll film it. What made you go that route?
Well, I've sort of been making, from when I had done comedy, I've been making videos for a little while now, and I just really enjoy the creativity of it. I love editing, and I love having a space to just sort of be myself and claim my identity. So it was all about creative outlet.
Yeah, I love that. Are you artistic in other ways?
I am, actually. I do a lot of drawing in my spare time, and I just get all charged up when I pursue creative hobbies.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's I had so much fun watching you, and you're a self-professed cat lover, which is pretty entertaining too. Yeah.
Do you like cats too?
Well, I love cats, but I am deathly allergic to them. I just have the worst. I like to tell this, just a quick story. So when my wife and I first started dating, I took her to a New Year's Eve party at a friend's, like a high school friend's house, and during the evening, my allergies started acting up. My face just started, squooshing up, and my eyes were watering, my nose running, everything. I couldn't figure out what in the world was going on. And as I'm sitting on the couch, the biggest cat I've ever seen, the fluffiest, the biggest cat, walks behind, right over my shoulders. I'm like, oh, that was it. So I told her it was like 9:30. We haven't even got anywhere close to midnight. I was like, we got to go. We got to go. So, once you know how allergies are, once they start, you can't stop them. So I was just popping Benadryl like crazy. Well, by the time we got back to my house, I was trying to make it to New Year's. Well, I was completely knocked out by 10:30. So our first, it wasn't our first date, but one of our earliest dates, first New Year's together, she ended up watching the ball drop by herself with me just snoring beside her.
Oh no. She's like, is my new boyfriend an narcoleptic?
I know, and she stuck around. I was like, your judgment is terrible.
So that's so funny.
But what made you kind of fall in love with cats, and how many cats do you own?
Well, I currently have 4 cats. And
okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting up there. I'm really trying to.
That's not too bad.
But yeah, I mean, I grew up with animals. My parents had an animal care business when I was a little girl.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually in my house, like in the building where my house was, there were 50 dogs and 25 cats. And yeah, that was my environment growing up in. And
you better not be allergic.
Yeah, I mean, I actually did have some allergies starting out, and then I adjusted, thankfully.
Right. That's right. Thankfully. Yeah, thank goodness. So why cats and not dogs?
Well, I do love dogs also, but cats are a lot easier. And I started with just 2 cats. Those were my gateway cats. And yeah, like at that time I was just like moving a lot, and it was just an easier, lower maintenance way to go.
Yeah, for sure. So what are their names?
Okay, so I have Jerry, that's my boy. We have Mary Kate, she's the oldest, she's 12. And Biscuits. And
we gotta have Biscuits.
Yeah. And Cindy's the kitten, she's only 10 months old.
Oh, well, that sounds pretty good. So how old's the oldest?
12 years.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, she's getting up there. She's almost a teen.
Yeah, almost. I don't know how does that translate? Is there cat years like there's dog years?
There are cat years. A cat can live to be I want to say 15 to 20.
That's pretty good.
In normal years.
Yeah.
And so she's probably, to translate, 12. She's maybe 60. She's like just becoming a senior citizen.
She's getting ready to retire.
That's right. She plays bingo a lot.
It's do all 4 of them get along?
Better than before.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, siblings, siblings battle.
Sure. I mean, the oldest one, she just likes to lay a lot. She's just like, let me play my bingo. And the other cats, like my cat Jerry, he is like super energetic, and he's like an athlete. He's like if Michael Jordan were a cat, basically. And so he's just like doing push-ups in the corner. And Mary's like, don't go near me. And so there's a bit of a clash sometimes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cats are great because they have such unique personalities. You rarely find 2 cats that are alike.
That's so true.
I know. It's so strange. So do you incorporate the cats into your work on YouTube?
Well, they do incorporate themselves, whether I like it or not. They're usually entering into a scene, just kind of like, and I won't even know it. They'll just be like in the back. I'll be filming, and they're just like photobombing me constantly. But I have been trying to make furniture, like if I'm making, say, I made a nightstand and I made it like a cat themed nightstand. I put a golden cat on the bed. So nice. I've been doing that, but then like to take it a step further, now I'm starting to make furniture that the cats can also enjoy, like for themselves. So for example, I'm currently making an ottoman, or I'm making over the ottoman I previously mentioned, but within the ottoman there will be a cat bed. Like,
oh, I love that.
It's like a cat cube. Yeah, so it's a footrest, but also a cat bed.
That's cool. Yeah, see, I like that. That's very inventive. I like that. So have you contacted your Russian inspiration to be on your show yet?
No. Oh my God, I would love to. His name is Peter. Most of his videos are not in English though. That's the only
That's even better.
So like he just puts like yeah, he puts really fast-paced techno music on, and it just like is like, it's like a nightclub. It's like a furniture making nightclub over there, and I'm just like watching, dancing a little, and just wishing.
You have to have him on.
Yeah, I'd like to. I definitely would like to. That could be entertaining.
Oh, it'd be hilarious. So if you put your show to music, what kind of music would you be playing?
It's so interesting, like, because I have added some songs in the background here and there. I've been trying to figure that out for myself. Like recently I made a video that had all feature like movies soundtracks in it, like dramatic. Yeah, and I was like, maybe that'll just like get everybody like into the suspense of it all, like will she make it or not. And then like lately I've been getting more into like 80s synth music and just trying to like make it feel like bubbly. So that's kind of where I
like that
landed lately.
You know, I like that a lot actually. That I would enjoy that 80s music. That would be good. That would be good. I'm an 80s kid. I like that.
Yeah, it instantly creates fun.
Yeah, exactly. So do you are you a Ron Burgundy from Parks and Rec fan?
Wait, Ron Burgundy, I thought he was the one that
No, Ron Burgundy's from Anchorman. Ron, help me out. You know what I'm talking about, Parks and Rec.
I do. Yes.
It's Nick Offerman's character. Yeah, Ron Burgundy. Come on, Mike, that's terrible.
But I know, yeah, that'd be so funny. If
his name was Ron on the show, though. I'm not way off. The Nick Offerman, he's a woodworker. Yeah. And apparently he is in real life, too.
Yeah. I actually have looked up his studio. Yeah, I wish I knew his last name, but I also, it escapes me too. But
I know it's Nick Offerman's the actor. But yeah, I'm lost on the Ron.
Right.
I can't remember. That's terrible. You can tell I didn't plan for that one.
Yeah, so Nick.
Oh shoot.
Okay, so we're improving here.
That's right, we're improving, and I'm terrible improving. So once you finish the Ottoman, what's your next project? What do you have coming?
So after I finish the Ottoman, I have a lot of things I'm working on actually. I recently did a video about weaving rattan. So I have I have an entryway table that I am incorporating the hand woven rattan into.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm gonna be, thank you. I'm also making another set of nightstands for a friend of mine. And this time I'm going to be trying to replicate a nightstand from Urban Outfitters. So it's going to be a challenge, but I'm up for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you planning, are you just doing it for yourself and friends, or are you going to sell some of this?
It's tricky. Like at first, in my first video, I thought I would sell these things.
Yeah.
But then I realized like I should make sure I'm an expert first before I'm like, you know what I mean? Because part of why part of why I had to give this ottoman a makeover is because like one of the legs fell off.
That's the one I would want.
One of the legs fell off, and so it wasn't secure. Yeah, a 3-legged ottoman. but I did repair it as part of the new video.
That's good.
But yeah, so I have to
Well,
make sure I'm producing a quality product.
See, I know when we started this podcast, we were terrible. And I'm not saying we're good now, but we were terrible then. And the work we did, we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to get the lighting right and the sound and all that. We're figuring, but the worse we did, the bigger our audience got. So people kind of like to see the struggle. So we just let them see it. Just let them.
That's so interesting.
Well, then when you start getting good at it, they're like, yeah, you should have seen her a year ago. Look how far.
Yeah. Yeah. They kind of feel like proud of your progress.
Yeah, they're a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty great. So what other plans do you have with this program? Are you going to branch out into other, non-wood products or any type of artwork? Where else is it going to go?
Well, in terms of non-wood projects, I mean, in terms of, okay, so furniture specifically, I want to do more upholstery. I do have a couch that my cats have destroyed, and I need to reupholster it. So that's definitely one direction we're going. Yeah. We're also going to be doing more like cat specific furniture for cats. Like, for example, I plan to also make like a mid-century modern miniature sofa for my cats to lay on. So that's
the business.
It's a bit excessive, but
that's the business you need. Miniature cat furniture. Yeah. I would invest in that.
Yeah.
Get that started. We're on board.
Okay, great. I sold that. And then finally, I do draw a lot. I draw every day. So I have to find a way to incorporate my artwork, or perhaps start a new series just about artwork. Yeah. So that's kind of the wheels are spinning on that. And the answer is, I'll get back to you.
So when you do a piece for somebody else, do you have trouble giving it away, or getting rid of it?
No, mostly I don't. It's like a little weird because it takes me a really long time to draw a portrait. It takes me, say, 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Sure. And I'm staring at that person's face in the portrait the entire time. And I'm like coming up with like stories for that person. I'm like, they look so happy. Like, why are they so, I'm like,
I love that.
Yeah. And so like, I kind of sort of bond with it. And I once it's done, then I feel like I can't keep it because look at all this stuff that I put into it. I more feel like I can't wait till they see it.
Yeah, no, I love that. My wife, she paints, and she likes to paint and then donate it to like charity auctions, and then they'll auction it off, and make money that way, which sounds great. The problem is I have trouble letting loose of any of her stuff. So I'm always sneaking on the auctions, trying to buy back the paintings that she's done. One of these days she's going to like walk into a closet and it's just going to be full of all her paintings.
That's hilarious. I love that. I love that you do that.
Yeah, I have a hard time with it. Like, I've been to a few of them where they do the auctions in person, and I'm like, staring daggers at people that are bidding on her paintings.
That's so funny.
Oh, shoot. So
what does she think of that you do that?
Well, she's not a fan. She's not but she has allowed me to keep pieces. Most of them I've not been allowed to keep, but a few, the ones I really, really wanted, then she's let me keep those. Still had to pay for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you've been stuck inside just like the rest of us over the last year. And I know what your majority of your time's been doing because you've been filming most of it. But what else have you been doing while you're at home? Have you been binging any shows, anything, any other creative outlets? What else has been going on?
I mean, yeah, I have been binging a bit on Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching Dexter for a while. Do you like that show?
I do like Dexter. It's coming back apparently.
Yes, and I had found out it was coming back, and so I was like, I hadn't seen it. I wanted to go through all the seasons, and I was doing that, and I got to the last season, halfway through it, Netflix took it off.
Oh no!
So it was just a traumatic. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So that's.
Come on, Netflix.
I've never had that.
Well, it's probably going to.
Like,
I'm assuming it'll be on. It is Showtime who put. I think Showtime does that. It'll probably be on. Showtime's probably going to start showing all the old ones, I would assume.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I've been watching this show on Netflix. I'm only halfway through. It's new. It's called Surviving Death.
Yeah. What do you think about that
one?
I have heard of it. I haven't watched it. What do you think about it?
Okay, so it's this show about near-death experiences and people trying to contact people via, say, a medium, just their stories and events. And I just think it's very interesting. Like half of it, I feel like, okay, well, that person that's a bunch of baloney. Like half of it, I'm like, I feel bad for them. That's clearly not legit. Right. But then the other half, I'm like, well, maybe. Like I'm like believing in it, and I'm like, this is awesome, and it kind of like it makes me feel like, oh, I need to go like Google ghosts or something.
Yeah,
so
it allows you to imagine the possibilities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's one that it's on my list. I just haven't sat down to watch. We're finishing up the third season of Cobra Kai right now, so we're wrapping that up.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
It's pretty good. I mean, if you like Karate Kid, it's pretty good.
Oh,
yeah, not too bad.
Okay. Oh, by the way, let's hear. Jerry has made an appearance.
Oh, which one's that?
That's Jerry.
Oh, that's Jerry. He looks like a Jerry.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
So what's the limit? How many cats is too many cats?
Oof, that's okay. So you don't even know the half of it. Like I have 9 feral cats that I take care of that live outside my building.
Yep. I just had a feeling there was more cats.
You're like, there's more, and there are. Yeah, so this summer though, there were all these kittens. There were about 15 kittens and 9 adult cats, just all in my garage. And I started volunteering with this cat organization called Lux Paws.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've been really good because they helped me trap a lot of them, and they taught me how trap neuter return works, basically, which you trap the cats and then you get them fixed, and then if it's an adult cat, it can just go right back outside and it just kind of like gets all happy and it's like my home, and then at least there won't be 5 million kittens anymore.
Sure.
But anyway, so yes, I've been working with them. Long story short, your question was just how many cats is too many cats. And this summer, I fostered a bunch of those kittens. So at one point I had 6 cats in my apartment, and that was definitely too much. Too much for sure. I mean, I think 4 is too many cats.
Yeah, that's a lot of cats.
5 is too many. 5's too many. That's my final answer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's cat lovers that I know, their answer to that question is always one more than they have.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're always at the maximum.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I set the standard.
So from what I understand, LA has a kind of a feral cat issue. I think that's great that you're actually working to try to address that.
Thanks. Yeah, it's crazy how many cats there are, because I didn't know different parts of the country have the opposite problem. Like
Right.
where I'm originally from in Massachusetts, they actually have a cat shortage. And I had a friend, yeah, my friend was trying to get kittens and having the hardest time. So I actually took 2 of the kittens from my garage and I flew them across to Massachusetts when the COVID numbers were down for a minute.
Yeah.
And I got them a new home. So I was like, okay, I'll just continue to evenly distribute the cats across our nation. Like, I wish I could do that all the time, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, COVID makes that very difficult.
Makes it tough. It makes it tough. Where are you from in Massachusetts?
I'm from a small town near the Acton Concord area.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're familiar?
Well, just generally, I've
Oh.
been through there a few different times, so I at least know where that's located within Massachusetts. But yeah, that's pretty good. I was trying to detect if I could. I can't really tell an accent with you. Like people listen to me and they're like, "Where are you from?"
Yeah, I mean, my parents, they definitely have really strong accents. Like they are the stereotypical, like pack the car and have it square.
Yeah.
Like I need a glass of water. Like very, like, they don't know how to say R's at all.
Yeah.
But I guess because I'm more where I'm from is like more suburbia, so they taught us to say R's in school. I don't know.
That's right. Have you made it back there in the last year?
I did go back in September because we had like a minute where it was sort of getting to become safe.
It was,
and then it wasn't anymore. So yeah, I miss my family, and I got to get back there as soon as it's okay to do so.
Yeah, I know this stuff is it's so weird. And we've been somewhat lucky in West Virginia that it didn't hit us as hard early. We're having some problems now, but early. But we had 3 grandbabies were born during that early part of the year, and we didn't get to see them. We got to see them. We got to see them through doors, but we went through a couple months. Yeah, it was awful. It was, of course, they're babies. They didn't know the difference, but it was killing them. We were suffering.
That's so hard, and I can really relate because my sister just had twins, and they haven't even left the hospital yet, but they're gonna face the exact same challenge.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's interesting. I hope it clears up soon. So here's your question for Massachusetts. So in West Virginia, a part of our accent, we will say things like sit in the floor. You don't sit on the floor, you sit in the floor. So in Massachusetts, do they sit on the floor or they sit in the floor?
Sit on the floor, absolutely. Yeah. Like I've never heard sit in the floor. That's so interesting.
We sit in the floor, which makes no sense at all.
Wow. No, like I've been learning a lot about little things like that, especially being out here in the Southwest. People out here, they say like, instead of put something away, they say put up that item.
Yeah.
Like,
I've heard that.
Do you guys say that?
We put it away.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah, we put it away.
I was so confused the first time I heard that.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated by the different dialects and different, the phrasing. America is so odd on the phrasing. It's just everywhere you go, it's said differently.
Yeah. What's the deal?
You do a pretty good Massachusetts accent for somebody that doesn't really have an accent.
Oh, thanks. It's all because like a lot of people confuse Massachusetts and New York. And I've spent a lot of time in both places. So I feel like I could handle both, actually. I'm just bragging. That's the whole point. Oh, thanks. Yes, I'm good at that.
Do you prefer LA or New York?
I would say overall, I prefer, it's tough. I do like both places. I think I prefer New York just because I enjoy the hustle bustle energy.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I'm the opposite. I like New York is fun to visit. I would rather live in LA because it's a little slower.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I just get charged up. Like I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
before.
Well, my wife's that way. She would totally be. She would choose New York because it's just go go go. That's too much for me. That's too much. I don't want to go that much. Gotta slow down.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Some people need that decompression time.
Yeah, but it's a great place to visit, and both places have just all the best food. It's the best.
Yeah. I think the dream would be to be bi-coastal and fat and just like go back and forth and just eat it all.
Tell you what, if that's the one thing with COVID, we all gained weight. It's just,
I know.
we fought against it for a little while, but at some point you're just like, all right, I'm eating.
Yeah, you're just like, give me the cheeseburger.
That's right. I'm tired of being inside. Just give me the burger.
Pretty much.
Well, Daralyn, this has been great. I've had the best time talking with you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been terrific.
Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, you have to come back. I'd say that we need to do a woodworking show together, but there is no possibility that I wouldn't end up hurting one or both of us.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm the worst. I was putting together I'll tell you this. I was putting together a bench. We bought a bench, and I wasn't supposed to put it together because I'm terrible, but I was like, I'm gonna put that together. I'm gonna surprise her. I'm gonna put that together. Well, okay. I put it together, and somehow when I finished it, and it took me an hour probably to put it together, and it was one piece of it was backwards. So I had to take it completely apart. I put it back together, took another hour, put it back together, got it all the way back together, the same piece backwards. Same piece. So I took it all the way apart again, took another hour, put it back together. No. I got that piece right. It was right. The piece underneath it was upside down. It was a nightmare. Finally on the fourth try, I managed to get the thing together. And then my wife comes home, and I'm like, here's your damn bench.
Oh God.
She didn't know it took me 4 hours to put that thing together. Terrible. So terrible. So before you go,
it gets so frustrating. And I'm one of those people. Oh yeah. Thank you for that story. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally get it. Like, I'm one of those people who learns by repetition. So I would probably do the exact same thing.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure that you were much, much better. Your learning curve was probably much smaller than mine would be. But before you go, where can our listeners, our viewers, where can they find you on YouTube, and are you on any other social media?
Well, all they have to do is type in my name, Daralyn Kelleher, to YouTube, which can be a challenge for the spelling. So
I typed in Daralyn, it came right up. That's how popular it was. Yeah, it popped right up.
All right. I'll take it. So I'm Daralyn Kelleher on YouTube, and then just search my name on the other platforms, and I'm there.
Yeah.
You can find me. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it. So do you have a favorite social media besides YouTube?
Definitely Twitter, without a doubt.
Yeah, Twitter's the easiest, I think.
I think it's the easiest. I also just think it's so cool. It's like you're scrolling through a filing cabinet of thoughts, like just random thoughts from everyone. Yeah. Like, I love that.
Yeah, it is. And if something is happening, like if something big is happening somewhere, Twitter's the best place to go because you get the as it happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty neat. Well, thank you so much for coming on. You have to come back. Maybe when you try something big, it's got to be a big project. Then you got to come back.
Okay. Okay. So when I build a house,
that's right.
I will come back.
You're building a house or maybe like a kitchen, something.
Oh.
We want to.
Okay.
But we got to do it live. We got to get in there and see what you're working on.
That sounds terrific.
All right, Daralyn, hold on 1 second. I'm going to hit pause. Well, that was just a blast. I really enjoyed that. Daralyn So talented. Definitely check out her YouTube channel. It is fun, and she's actually really good at what she's doing, especially for somebody that kind of just started. She kind of taught herself. It's impressive, and it's a fun time. There's so many people out there that enjoy the kind of do it yourself type of viewing. This is one I would highly recommend. It's one of my favorites. I love it because it's somebody that's learning as they go, and I think it's kind of neat to see when somebody struggles or gets frustrated and figures it out. And she's really talented, funny too. So definitely check that out. And it's a can't miss. If you're a cat lover, you can't miss it. That's a done deal. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. We do not take that for granted. We really appreciate that you come back and watch us week after week. Please check us out on our website, meistercon.com. You can find us on Facebook under MeisterCon. We do have all of these videos on our YouTube channel as well. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe if you go, where everybody's about the numbers. So we appreciate the subscription. I think you'll enjoy the diversity of guests that we have on the program. Okay, so until next week, bye everybody.